Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to the Premier League Predictions Game 24. These are midweek games this week, starting off tomorrow night, the 21st. And looking at the kickoff times, 7:30 we've got Bournemouth versus Brighton, Aston Villa versus Watford, Everton versus Newcastle, Sheffield United versus Manchester City, Crystal Palace versus Southampton, and then the 8:15 evening kickoff is Chelsea versus Arsenal. Moving on to Wednesday evening, we've got a 7:30 kickoff, which is Leicester at home to West Ham. Another 7:30 kickoff is Spurs at home to Norwich, followed by an 8:15 kickoff, which is United at home to Burnley. And then finishing us off on Thursday, weird day, 8 o'clock kickoff, we've got Wolves at home to Liverpool. But as usual, we've got our three guests. We've got Martin, presenter on Man City Fan TV. We've got Kiam, who looks after the FIFA content on Man City Fan TV. And we've got Ryan, who looks after the Man City Premier League predictions on the Man City Fan TV Discord channel. So, who's up first? Let's go for Ryan.
Hello guys, it's Ryan with my predictions for game week 24, I think, of the Premier League. So I have gone with Aston Villa 0, Watford 2, Bournemouth 0, Brighton 2, Crystal Palace 0, Southampton 3, Everton 2, Newcastle 1, Sheffield United 1, City 2, Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2, Leicester 2, West Ham 1, Spurs 1, Norwich 0, Man United 2, Burnley 0, Wolves 1, Liverpool 2, and you won't see it on this graphic I don't think, but West Ham 0, Liverpool 3. So starting with City, I contemplated putting a draw, but I think, well, I'd hope that we'd have just about enough to overcome Sheffield United. Last 10 minutes, maybe get that winner and actually defend it this time. So that's that prediction. So Villa losing to Watford. Villa got a draw at the weekend. Watford, can't actually remember what Watford did, but they're doing well since they got taken over by Nigel Pearson. I think they'll continue that good form, and they drew with Spurs, that's what they did, but they'll get the win here. Bournemouth losing to Brighton 2-0. Bournemouth, I think, real risk of going down. Brighton, I think, will probably just about stay up, but I think Bournemouth are in such a bad run of form that it'll be a routine victory for Brighton. Southampton beating Palace 3-0. Southampton, very good run of form. Bottled it against Wolves, but Wolves are a very good side at coming back, and I was hoping for a draw. I might have got more than a point if it had happened, but they got a winner in the last 10 minutes. But I think beating Palace should be routine for them. Everton to beat Newcastle. Not much really to this, just I think Everton are the better team here. Newcastle with that last minute winner, I don't think they'll get another 2 victories in a row, so I've gone with Everton there. Chelsea Arsenal, can't really split them really. I think Arteta's just as good as Lampard. I think both defences are terrible. One can't defend but has a good goalkeeper, one has alright defenders and has essentially no goalkeeper in Kepa. So this could be a goal fest, so that's why I've gone with 2-2 there. Leicester West Ham, I think West Ham are definitely the sort of team that Leicester will want to face on this little dip that they're having, but I think they should get back to winning ways again. Spurs beating Norwich, routine. Spurs aren't lighting up the world, but Norwich should be routine for them. Man United to beat Burnley. Burnley, horrible run of form again, but they did get that victory against Leicester, but I think United will be too much for them once again. Then Wolves to beat Liverpool. Liverpool to beat Wolves. I think Wolves will battle back to a draw, and then Liverpool get winner last 10 minutes or second in the last 10 minutes. And then the West Ham Liverpool game is over from a few when they were at the Club World Cup, so that was late December. Their fixture's being played a week later, so I put that in here as well. I'm assuming everyone else will. But I've gone with routine 3-0 Liverpool. But make sure you get your predictions in the Discord, and back to Andy.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Ryan. Thanks for the predictions, and thanks for all the work you do on the Discord channel. We'll be talking about the table at the end of this particular video. So next up, we've got our FIFA content presenter, and that is Kiam.
Hi Andy, thanks for having me on again this week. So I'm just going to go through my predictions for game week 24, I believe it is. So we're going to look at first fixture. It's Bournemouth against Brighton. A bit of a local derby there. I think Brighton will struggle at Bournemouth. Bournemouth will have a bit too much. I think they're going to try and fight now. Bournemouth, they're holding on by the skin of their teeth. So I think they will pick up a 2-1 victory in that game. I've gone for Aston Villa 2, Watford 1. I think Aston Villa will be too strong at home for Watford and will pick up all 3 points. I've gone for Everton 2, Newcastle United 0. I think Everton under Ancelotti will be strong at home, and they'll have a bit too much for Newcastle. And then over to the Manchester City game. We're away at Sheffield United, and I think Sheffield will score a goal, but I think City's class and quality will come through and will win the game 3-1. Although it will be a pretty difficult game. I think Sheffield will put up a fight. We saw that at the Etihad over Christmas. They're a decent side. They caused us a few problems, and I think with the crowd behind them, it will be a difficult game. Next one, Crystal Palace 2, Southampton 0. Pretty straightforward routine win there for Crystal Palace. And then Chelsea versus Arsenal. I've gone for a high-scoring draw, 2-2 draw. I think London derby. Both of those teams are pretty evenly matched, and I think they'll share the spoils at Stamford Bridge. And then I've gone for Leicester City 3, West Ham United 1. So pretty straightforward win for Leicester. I think West Ham will put up a fight in the game to begin with, but then Leicester will see it through. They'll get the points in that game. And then we look at Tottenham versus Norwich, and this is going to be a very clear win, home win. Tottenham 4, Norwich 0. No trouble at all there for Spurs. I know Spurs haven't been great this season, but Norwich are a very poor side. I think Spurs will comfortably beat them. And then I'm looking at Manchester United versus Burnley, and I've gone for Manchester United 2, Burnley 0. So routine home win for Manchester United and a clean sheet. I think they'll be able to see Burnley off. Burnley aren't the greatest side. I think United, even though they can slip up against these lower teams, I think United will be comfortable in that one. And then the final game, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Liverpool. I think Wolves will put up a fight. They're at home. They're a difficult team to play against at the Molineux. But I think Liverpool, with their strike force, will just have a little bit too much. I think a very tight game. VAR will probably get the winner and see Liverpool over the line by 2-1. So those are my predictions, Andy. Thanks for having me on, and best of luck to everyone else with their predictions this week.
Thanks, Kiam. We'll have to see whether you are still top of the table. But moving on next, we've got our Man City Fan TV presenter, and that is Martin.
Hi all, cheers Andy, Martin here, Man City Fan TV, game week 24 of the Premier League, and I'm here with my predictions I'm going to go through with you. So let's start and begin. Bournemouth 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, Aston Villa 2, Watford 1, Everton 2, Newcastle United 0, Sheffield United 1, Manchester City 3, Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 1, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 1, Leicester 2, West Ham United 2, Tottenham 2, Norwich 2. Let me say that one again. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Norwich City 0, Manchester United 3, Burnley 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Liverpool 2. So, let me start with our game. Sheffield United is going to be so tough. Flying high in the league, Sheffield United. Chris Wilder got them playing some good, determined football. Strong at the back, good up front, not scoring loads of goals, but they're scoring important goals at the right time. And they're nicking points where people aren't expecting them to. They're going to places like the Emirates. They're going to Old Trafford. They're going against, these top sides. And they're gaining points. And funnily enough, they are the surprise package of the league so far. And if we think going to Bramall Lane on a Tuesday night, cold, it's going to be windy, it's going to be, really bitter, with the home crowd behind them, we need to really improve defensively. I think going forward, we'll score more, have more opportunities than them. We can't keep having 20 odd chances a game and not scoring goals. But we need to sort this defence out quick, and maybe a little bit of a surprise. Laporte might be on the bench on Tuesday night, but I think it'll go back with Fernandinho and Otamendi or even Garcia tomorrow night. So yeah, City 3, Sheffield United 1. The next one I'm going to look at is Manchester United 3, Burnley 1. Again, Burnley got a great result against Leicester City, coming from 1-0 down. And I just think United, they put up a little bit of a fight at Anfield yesterday, but it wasn't enough. And yeah, Fred played better, Matic played better, but I tell you what, Martial, hang your head in shame, son. That should have been in the back of the net, and it wasn't. But I just think, I've gone for 3 goals, and maybe I'm being a bit generous, especially with Rashford being out. But yeah, I just fancy United to win, because they seem to get the job done against the lower end teams, especially at home. Old Trafford crowd behind them. I just think it'll be a 3-1 win for United. Let's go on to Molineux. Wolves against Liverpool. Unfortunately, the future champions, this season's champions, it's going to be, unfortunately, Blues. But yeah, I just fancy Liverpool to sneak a 2-1 win. Do I think they're playing well? No, they're not. But that's the thing with champions or future champions elect. They can play badly and win, and that's what matters, and that's what they're doing. And I just think Wolves, especially at home under the lights, there'll be an amazing atmosphere there. But I just think Liverpool just have too much for them up top, with Firmino, Salah, Mane all banging form. And, they've even got defenders, Van Dijk, Matip, all chipping in with goals now. Keita, Fabinho, scoring goals. So, yeah, I'm going for a sneaky win. Liverpool 2, Wolves 1 from Molineux. So, what I'm going to do now is hand you back over to the Master of the Ceremonies. And take care, Blues. And as always, up the Blues. I'll see you on the other side, guys. Take care. Martin here at Man City Man TV.
Cheers, buddy. Okay. Well, we'll see whether I've had overtaken you at the in the table this week, Martin. I must be close, but we'll see at the end of this one. So, moving on to my predictions. These are my predictions for the Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night games. So, it's pretty simple as usual. I'm going 1-1 right the way across the board, and that's 1-1 for the Bournemouth-Brighton, 1-1 for Villa-Watford, 1-1 for Everton-Newcastle. But the Sheffield United game, I think that's going to be a difficult one away at Sheffield United. They generally do pretty well on the road, doing okay though at home as well. I just think there's going to be a bit of a bounce back after the 2-2 draw. And I think Pep's going to have these bang up for it. And I'm going to go for a comfortable victory. I'm going to go Sheffield United 1, Manchester City 3. On to Palace, Southampton, a 1-1. Chelsea and Arsenal be a tight game. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Leicester against West Ham. I keep fancying West Ham to do something. They're not helping me out, but I'm going to stick with a 1-1. Spurs at home to Norwich. I think Norwich might get something there. United, Burnley. Well, Burnley had a great result at the weekend. United, awful against Liverpool. So I'm going to go a point there. And finally, Thursday night, 8 o'clock kickoff, Wolves versus Liverpool. And I'm going to have to stick with a 1-1. I'm sure Liverpool will probably win. But I'm going to keep it uniformed, and 1-1 across the board, apart from the Man City game. So, moving on, let's have a look at the table at the end of this week's games. This was at the end of game 23. Kiam, 145. He still leads the predictions league. Bernard Deneen is in second on 134. Ryan Corrie's on 127. Ethan Aspinall on 118. Baron's House on 112 in fifth. Martin on 110. He's had an absolute nightmare week. Me had an absolute corker. So I went from 99 up to 109. So I'm right on Martin's tail in seventh. Section on 107. He's right on my tail. Callum's right on Section's tail on 105. Dance City on 92. Mingy Wong on 86. Sargent on 69. Ace King on 51. And then we've got the stragglers. That's Alex on 16. Roger Goat 9. Darren 9. Ashkis 6. Daniel De Bruyne 6. Aguero's Cube 5. And True Blue 1972 is propping up the table in fourth. But anyway, that's our predictions this week. Don't forget, give us your predictions below this video. And if you still want to go over, even if you don't want to join in on the Discord channel for the Premier League predictions table, you can still go over and chat to the guys on that particular forum, and I would suggest you do. So once again, Ryan, thank you very much for looking after the Man City Fan TV Premier League predictions table. This is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Let's just hope we get 3 points and a decent performance tomorrow. Take care, Blues.